Hello, it is the 25th of June, so that means it's time for another Merry Makes. My festive makes today are going to be some decorations. Now, these could obviously be hung on the tree, but what I'm going to do is use them alongside tags on my parcels. We've got 5 different packs in this box, and they all contain different numbers of elements, so 2 of them have at least 24 in, which I thought would be a great idea for maybe some sort of advent calendar. You have 12 of the candy cane spirals, and the candy canes, the normal candy canes and the trees have 24 in each. So that's what inspired my idea to do those maybe for an advent piece. But I am actually going to start with the candy cane spiral, and yes, this is a kit, but you could do it with any beads that you've got at home. So you obviously really want white and red, but you could add your own twist, and you could use sparkly beads, or maybe you've got some posh glass beads. And the kit comes with silver pipe cleaners, which I believe you can still pick up in various different places, mostly in craft sections now. And I just need to cut that down to the right size. The pipe cleaners have been cut down to 6 inches. And then, as you can see, I'm just laying 2 across and 1 down. And I'm just checking that that's roughly in the middle, which it is. And then we just twist these over, so you go up and down just to hold those 2 across the centre in place, and then spread them out into a star. Just brought you in a bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Now I've got my bead tray. I've emptied my beads into the tray so they don't all roll around everywhere and I lose half of them. With hindsight, I was only going to make 1, so I don't know why I emptied all the packets, because they were a right pain to put back. Because obviously picking up round things in a little tray, they just all run around everywhere. Yeah, so I probably should have just tipped out what I needed. But you start with the small white bead and then add a larger red bead, and then it goes on to the large white bead. As I said, this is super simple to do, and you could do this sitting in front of the TV in the evening, and yeah, by Christmas you could have a few decorations or gifts or whatever you want them to be, really. So I'm just counting how many beads I need, and it's 5 red and 4 white. That's 4 large white, but it also starts with a small white and finishes with a small white to hold those on. I was a bit finger and thumbs because it was quite warm, so just made the beads a bit slippery. And I'm just using the pliers there to twist that end down so obviously they don't all fall off. And then it is a case of doing the others exactly the same. Another idea I had while doing these was if you did them all in white, or maybe white and silver or clear, you could have it as a snowflake. Obviously finished adding all the beads to the spokes, and now I just need to bend the ends over. So I'm using that first large white bead on the end as a guide of how far I want them to bend over. I mean, it's obviously entirely up to you how far you take them, but to me that looks just about right for the top of a candy cane, for the size that this is. But you could obviously do them smaller or larger. I don't think you'd be able to do them too much smaller, because obviously you do need a bit to bend over at the top. So if they're too small, you're just going to end up with something that's basically in half, possibly. So I've just tweaked it a bit and then it's finished. And I would just put a piece of cotton in the centre, or some sort of thread, possibly invisible thread, through the centre to hang it. I've decided to go with the trees kit next, and I'm going to cut the pipe cleaner down to 3 inches, which is 7.5 centimetres. Unfortunately the 0 doesn't start at the end of my ruler, which is a bit irritating because you have to bear that in mind, otherwise things are measured wrong. And I need to make the end of it into a hook, or like a shepherd's crook. And I do need to make that quite large because the beads that I'm using, the star bead that goes at the top and goes on first, has a large hole in it, so it could just slide off over the end. Again, I am obviously using a kit, but you could just as easily do this at home if you go and get some beads, or you've already got some beads. So I've got the star going on first, then this green round bead, and then these funny star beads. I assume they probably have a proper name, but I'm not sure what that is, sorry. So I've got 3 of the small ones going on, and then 2 medium and 2 large. Again, really quick to put together, something you could just sit and do without too much thinking. Again, good one for the children with supervision. So that's the tree part done, and then we've got the end bead, which is a red, it looks like a sort of cup, and then I'm doing another twist at the end, so like the shepherd's crook, but then twisting it in on itself so it sits inside the bead. Now this means that you don't have to have it hanging, you could have it standing up if you wanted, because it will actually stand on its own. And it's finished. And you can see the light catching the facets. Here are some close-ups of the things that I've made today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I would love you to give me a thumbs up, and if you don't already, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Cheerio!